Welcome to Revitalize Your Life, the podcast that's about to change the way you think about health, energy, and living your best life. Meet your hosts, experts in functional health, Mark and Joey, who are ready to empower you to take control of your health and well-being. Get ready to optimize, thrive, and take charge of your health. Revitalize Your Life starts now.
Oh my God, we're back again. Back streets back. All right. Episode 4.
Okay, we'll edit that bit out.
Oh, I think we should keep that in. I worked hard on that.
We're singing in the shower and practicing.
I was. There we go.
Mate, you've even got the wet look that they always had when they did their videos.
We do. That was not intentional.
Don't lie.
Okay. Maybe it was.
Yeah,
anyway,
it was.
How are we, sir? Good to see you, face.
Good to see you too, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good, thank you. We're back again, episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4. Wow.
We are very grateful for you guys and the amazing feedback on the previous episode.
We are.
It was our biggest one yet. It was downloaded quite a few times, so we just want to say a massive thank you for that. Hearing us waffle for a couple of hours. But in all seriousness, we just do it for, we love talking about this stuff.
We do.
We've got a great big passion for it. We could talk for hours on end about it. And it's really great to see everyone appreciate it. So again, thank you for tuning in.
Definitely. And actually people watched the really long episode, which I didn't think they would, but they did.
They did.
I thought they would tune out after about 30 minutes, but no. People actually watch the whole way through, which is actually pretty cool. Not to say we're going to do another 2.5 hour special today. Definitely not. But
however,
no,
it is massively anticipated, this episode, as we have been requested to talk more about what it is we do in terms of the blood work. So that is what we're going to be discussing today. Why we do it, why it's important, why I feel it's going to be the future of health and testing, and what to look for, and we're going to deep dive into certain trends as well. How we get amazing success with clients looking into this stuff, with ourselves, more importantly as well. And also, of course, our 10-minute tinfoil hat takeover.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Oh yeah,
this one we're proper getting our tinfoil hats out for this one.
We are. We cannot wait. So make sure you got a tea or coffee, or if you're doing a long drive to work, we recommend turning this up, just relaxing and just let it go. Anyway, I've got my tea ready.
I did have my protein shake, but I've drunk that already, so I've got nothing to drink now. So I'm just going to be dry mouthing this the whole way through.
Well, if any point, Mark, you need to go grab some water, mate, I can hold the stage. So don't worry.
Brother. Appreciate it.
So yeah, all things blood work then. So I'm looking forward to this. But as always, what we'll do, we'll just, have a little catch up first, because I think everyone likes us just rambling as well about what we've been doing, what we've been up to, and what our plans are and goals. And then sort of seed in what we're talking about today. So Mark, what have you been up to then recently?
Wow. A lot, actually. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's lots of opportunities coming around for me, particular at the moment. Or particularly, should I say, at the moment. So a couple of things with the business changing directions slightly, in the sense of taking what I currently do for a set kind of group of people and expanding that out to different groups. So focusing slightly more on the higher end, higher ticket option, and then creating something which is a little bit more group focused, which is going to enable there to be more of a community feel to what's going on. So there's that side of things going on. Building out some courses, which is pretty cool. Just built out a very good talk, which I did for some high performing entrepreneurs, which I'm going to kind of split up and edit and redo again. And I've had a couple of other coaches ask me if I can put together some presentations for them so that they can start giving those presentations out too, about peptides and stuff. I've been asked on another podcast to talk about peptides, which is really going to be cool as well. I haven't actually announced this to anybody yet. So this will be what's the word I'm looking for here? This would be like a premiere, I guess.
Premiere reveal.
Yeah, a reveal.
All
So
right.
I have been asked to be one of the MCs for the Health Optimization Summit in
Oh,
London in
yes.
June, which is pretty cool. So for anybody that is thinking about going, please go. And for anybody that attends the talks where the speakers are obviously on the stage and saying what they do and who they are, the likes of Ben Greenfield and such, I will be announcing them, interviewing them after their talks and stuff. So I'll be there the whole time. So I'm very, very psyched about that because I'm going to get to meet a lot of really cool people and get to kind of network and spend the time with them, which is going to increase my knowledge, I hope, and help other people more. So
Mm.
yeah, that's what's going on with me at the moment. Training's good, health is good, life is blessed. What about you, brother?
Love that. Oh man, I can't wait to see you up there. I'm hoping to make the Saturday as well. Um, yeah, because it's in June, isn't it? It's on the weekend
Yes.
of June.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, for those who don't know what that is a health optimization summit
Mhm.
where it's just all things that we talk about as well.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
yeah, it's
Pretty
all
much.
things to do with biohacking, there's
Yeah.
nutrition, there's obviously supplementation, there's infrared saunas, glasses that you're wearing, Mark. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of crazy wild things. And
There's ice plunges,
uh
there's breath work by a company called Soma, who is the breath company that I learned how to do breath work through. You normally get the likes of, like, let's say, Ben Greenfield, Marissa Peer. They're going to have, I think, what's his name? Dr. Matt Cook's going to be there this year. Stephen Gundry's going to be there this year.
yep.
Um, oh, what's that psychologist lady called? She lives in Dubai. Really pretty. I forget her name.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Anyway, she's going to be there.
Cool.
There's loads of people, but it's mostly
Mm.
they're expecting around 4,000 people to be going there, I guess, this week, in June this year. So it's going to be really, really good, and it's always busy. Loads of cool things there, loads of food, loads of samples, and opportunities to meet like-minded people, which is the most important.
Yeah. It's refreshing because I don't know if you remember or ever going, and anyone who's listening, to the the Birmingham NAC
Oh, body power.
body power. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh my God, body power.
God,
Yeah.
massive difference.
Yeah,
Like
mate,
all
that's
about
huge.
supplements, singlet t-shirts, and people on juiced up to their eyeballs.
If you weren't rocking around in a singlet
Yeah.
t-shirt
Or if you didn't
with a
get
protein
shredded,
shake,
if you didn't
yeah,
get shredded for body power, are you even
yeah,
doing it properly?
yeah. Had to walk in wearing your Gymshark. Had to be
Yeah.
done. Had to be done.
I remember the last time I went, I spent a fortune on gym clothes and I
Yeah.
went to take a picture of someone and completely forgot about it and my whole bag got nicked. Yeah. I was really disappointed, but lesson learned. Lesson learned. Always eyes on the prize. You got to always
Oh
look
my
at what you're doing.
God.
Yeah. But
Damn, bro.
it was good fun. It was good fun, but
It
it's
was.
funny how times change. Like
Yeah.
this journey that we've been on, functional health, nutrition, medicine, completely different to what
Yeah.
we were doing. So,
I
and
wouldn't
it's
go
a
to body
benefit.
power now. There's
Oh,
not there's anything wrong with it, but I don't really want to spend 2 days pre-workout out of my mind because
no.
they're the only samples you get as you walk around. I was like, oh, try this pre-workout. You're like, okay. They're only
Yeah.
little tiny
Yeah.
shots, but by the time you've gone through the whole day, you've had about a tub of pre-workout.
Yeah. Or just come with bags of protein powders,
Oh,
you
God,
know?
mate, you would literally be eating protein
Protein
bars and
powders
drinking
for a week.
pre-workout all day. That's it.
Yeah. I remember just using them for the rest of the week, having
Wow.
15, 20 different types of pre-workouts. And because I
Yeah.
was personal training at David Lloyd at the time, I'd try one every day and
Yeah.
stretch them out and be like trying to find the best one. I remember
Yeah.
there's one, I don't know if you guys remember this, called the Curse.
I
Remember the
remember
Curse?
first. Yeah. Wow.
Oh man, yeah, that was fun because
Jack was one of the ones that I got.
yeah, that had amphetamine in it, didn't it? Yeah, I remember I couldn't sleep for 2 days having that.
Jacked was insane.
Yeah,
Insane. That was back in the day when they didn't really monitor what people put in things. So
no,
you could kind of get away with stuff like that. But yeah, Jacked was a next level pre-workout, which is
oh
unfortunate that
man,
they had to change it because it was really good. But yeah, you can't be giving people amphetamines without them knowing. That's not quite fair.
mm, that's so cool. And yeah, sorry, where were we? What am I up to?
Yes, digress massively.
Attending body power. I don't think it's even going anymore. But no, it's been a good been month. I've been prepping. We are just talking off air, weren't we, Mark,
Mm,
about a gut health seminar that I'm teaching at my gym because I still work with clients in person a couple times each week, alongside doing all the cool stuff that we get to do together, and some things that we're building as well. But it allows me to do all the calls, blood work analysis, and grow the business like yourself. But I'm so excited for this one because it's the first in-person seminar that I have done in a very, very long time. I think the last time I ever gave an online seminar, well, most of them have all been online because it's just been COVID and it's just been convenient for people. But I think it was like way back in 2018, a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah, until some
6 years ago, bro.
Yeah, it'd be 6 years that I jumped the ship and set up my own business. So it's crazy how time flies. But I'm so excited for that. We've got a lot of spots have been taken up, which is I'm very grateful for. Um, Bearing in mind that, these things you don't really know how they're going to go and
No.
how they're going to go down well. But I think there's a big need for it, especially what we've found out of this podcast. I think is needed more now than ever, and because we're
100%.
talking about functional health and nutrition and blood work and tying it all in, it allows us to go down a bit of a deeper avenue with it. And that's where I'm really, really looking forward to because, well, we've both had our gut health challenges as well. And you
Yeah.
helped me with mine last year. And, it's very, very easy to just miss this and not really understand um, how to treat things with different approaches. We live in a world of quick fixes and supplements, but that's the last thing you should be worrying about, So that is coming out on the 27th. So I'm looking forward to that. What else is going down? No, we were just onboarding, like yourself, some amazing new clients. All have certain needs, health challenges, which is love. I love it. We love it. Getting into the nitty gritty, fact finding, deep diving into helping these people who've tried everything, So very excited for that. And also a little side hustle that I do is I was going to say I play adult dress up for a day, but that might go down the wrong way. I also do a little bit of extra work for film and TV. So I'm not an actor or anything like that, but I basically stand in a crowd and dress up for a day.
Sounds good to me.
It's fun. It's great fun. I'm a big fan of film and TV. We both are, but I am shooting. I can't say anything because I've signed a non-disclosure agreement. But Mark knows what it is.
I
But
know who it is.
for those who I'm gonna go. Well, I can give snippets as to what it is. It's a very popular TV series based on a game, and it's on Netflix. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Sick.
There's lots of stuff going on. But we could be here for hours talking about
We
what
could.
that's
We
the
could.
beauty about what we do is, always have something to look forward to.
It's true.
And now that we're shifting into spring, and it's so funny, isn't it, Mark? Because our last conversation, especially in episode 2, when we talked about New Year, new goals, um, we were talking about sort of the Gregorian calendar, didn't we? If you remember, and how actually you sort of have more drive and more, what's the word? More drive, more motivation.
Energy.
Yeah, more energy in spring,
Yep.
So this is where we should really be putting the foot on the gas pedal. So if you've got any big goals that you want to achieve with health, now's your time to do it. Because not only are we seeing more daylight in the UK, finally more sun. Woo!
Some sun.
Some,
Some. Still not warm.
We get to see this big shift in energy, don't we, as well? And you're a little bit more clued up on this.
I am. I've been diving deep into all of this for the past 4 and a bit weeks now.
Yeah.
And it's been a game changer. It really has. And
yeah.
when I've learned more, I will definitely talk about this on a podcast.
Yeah. I was going to say
it's really complex and I will butcher it and make a mistake. And not that that's a problem, but I don't want to give wrong information. So once I understand it a little more, I'll put it on our next podcast. Actually, I can talk about a bit more about it. But hence the reason why I'm wearing these and those types of things. And it's the stuff that I've been just kind of like implementing with other coaches, implementing with my clients as well, and my friends and stuff, and my family, to send them, okay, try this, just from the circadian side of things, and it's making massive changes. But I think that just kind of nicely ties into what I was going to say initially when you're talking about the gut seminar that you're doing.
Mm.
When you are all in on what you do,
Yeah.
you are in an echo chamber, right? So when we go on Instagram, when we go on Google or anything like that, we're searching or seeing things which are in our remit, right?
Mm.
So the people that we follow are people that we either know, like me and you follow each other, or people that we look up to as people that are the people that we learn from.
Yeah.
So every time we go on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, we are seeing the same things all the time. And then when we Google search these things and study them, we're again seeing them again and again and again. That makes us think that this is quite widely known,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Mm.
So, like when you were showing me the gut seminar that you built out before we started, to
Yeah.
us, it seemed like a lot of information,
Yeah.
but that's because of the level of depth that we know about it. But when
Yeah.
it comes to, I guess, like the layperson, and I mean that with no disrespect, this will all be brand new information, and they are going to be like a hungry kind of like dog chomping at the bit to get that information because
Mm.
it's all brand new, or most
Mm.
anyway. You know, saying to somebody, oh, okay, so you only go to the bathroom 3 times a week. Well, that's not right. Did you know that? Oh, no, I didn't. I thought that was okay. Oh, my
Yeah.
doctor said that was fine, or whatever the case may be. So when we start talking about these types of things, because we're quite passionate about it, again, like we just forget that
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is common knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
even the same with stuff like healthy food, like you have to go really far and wide to really not know what healthy food is. You just have to type it into Google. But ideally, people still don't know,
No.
right? Because there's so much conflicting information. And to tie this up nicely into a bow, that is why we do what we do on this podcast, because we are taking what we've learned and we have stress tested with not just ourselves as the N of one experiment, but with our clients.
Mm.
And we, again, stealing a Tony Robbins quote, success leaves clues.
Clues.
We
Yeah.
have noted what works and what is exactly what we think it is and what isn't. And
Mm.
we can then spread this message to everybody far and wide and help as many people as we can through that 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees of separation, you know, knowing somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, like just by spreading that information, it's going to out.
Yeah.
So yes, this leads us nicely into the functional bloods and all the rest of it, I guess.
Hell to the air.
Hell to the year.
Hell to the air. That's good. That's good. Good intro. Good intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're already into it, but yeah. What is it then? So remember when we first met, I was blown away by because the course where we both met on, we'd have a call every week, wouldn't we? Where everyone was learning about how to utilize blood work, testing, and analysis to
Mm.
formulate personalized plans for nutrition, but basically build health protocols from this. So in that health protocol, we look at someone's health history. We look at things like their health assessment, which is basically a symptoms analysis, isn't it, Mark? Into lifestyle, nutrition, stressors, environment, foods, digestive
Deficiencies.
issues, hormones, you name it.
Yeah.
And from that, would you say it's objective data or subjective data?
Subjective.
Subjective data, that's it. I always get
Mm.
the two mixed. So that's the subjective data. So the benefit of adding blood work is the objective data because your blood doesn't lie.
Yep.
So it's more of an accurate way to really pinpoint how well your body is functioning
Mhm.
from the inside.
Yep.
What on earth's going on? It's basically like lifting like your car bonnet and seeing how your engine is running, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a snapshot in time. And this is the thing that people have to remember. Like, there's very few things that you can do that will give you a snapshot of the entire body. Like, okay, you can do like a stool test for the microbiome, but it's only telling you about your microbiome. It doesn't interpret then from there how that impacts the rest of the body.
Mm.
But with blood work, particularly comprehensive blood work, where you're getting a lot of markers checked, it's telling you many, many things which are a snapshot in that moment of time.
Mm.
It will change, which is why we'll say to people, if somebody comes to us with bloods already, well, how old are they? Because if they're
Yeah.
3 or 4, 5 months old, okay, 5 months is probably pushing the envelope a little bit, but we could still utilize them. But anything more than that, and now we're going into the past of how you were then, not how you are,
Yes.
and you could have done anything and everything since then. So many things could have changed. So we can't really use them then. Like hormones take 100 days to change from a blood work panel. So you wouldn't get it done for like 3 months.
No.
Right. But then if somebody came to you with a blood test from 6 months ago, well, their hormones won't be like that. So it is a snapshot in time, and it's one of the most accurate ones that we can get currently.
And it's quite overwhelming when we first joined as well, because
Yeah.
further in, we'd have a call every week where we'd, get our own bloods done, and then bring them to the panel where we'd help, break down and basically pick apart what's going on. And from that, it's the best way to learn about it really was, I really, really miss those calls, because you'd be jamming on a call for, on a Friday morning with each other for
Like 2
hours, wouldn't
hours.
we? Yeah, it's brilliant. Like we're all playing Inspector Gadget. But yeah, it was great fun. And I remember like first learning about it, and I said this to on a consultation about this with a coach, believe it or not. And I said, when I first learned this stuff, I thought they were talking in a different language. I had no clue what AST, ALP, total protein is. And possibly you guys listen to this, you're bringing, what on earth are you on about? That sounds like just weird,
It's gibberish.
Yeah, it's gibberish. How much is your
What's that guy? Who does that? That's what's that character's name? He does the news reporter, and Jim Carrey in that film makes him say like,
oh yeah,
I can't remember his name. Steve Carell. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what it
Steve
reminds me
Carell,
of.
that's it. Throw me off. But yeah, it was very, very hard to dissect. But the more you do it, it's like a muscle. Is the more repetitions you do, you'll get stronger. And the same with the brain, right? It's a very fascinating subject. But since adding that into our services, Mark, would you say like it is just changed the game, not with just our own health, but for the people we've helped with, their level of results, ranging from things like acne, depression, anxiety, to ulcerative colitis with you, and me, chronic fatigue syndrome, and Hashimoto's. There's autoimmune conditions that we've helped clients with, and it's it's been life changing, hasn't it? It's been absolutely life changing and life saving as well, because we'll deep dive into why that is. Because when you go and get a test done, it's very, very important to first do a bit of due diligence and actually get it done properly, because going and doing this at your local doctors, your GPs, is completely different to what we do. It's not the same. You're comparing an apple to an orange.
And that's being kind. That is being kind.
Yeah.
Right. It really is. I think going to the GP, they don't take into account that there are factors at play which are in our control, which can influence the blood results. So getting a blood panel done at the GP, you're probably going to get 8, maybe 9 markers. They're going to be random. So you might get hemoglobin, iron, thyroid stimulating hormone, B12, and CRP. Completely unrelated to any of them, right?
Yeah.
They don't connect with each other really. But they don't say to you, okay, well, don't go to the gym the day before, because if there's liver enzymes in there, it's going to elevate them, or if there's inflammatory markers in there, it's going to elevate them.
Yep.
Don't drink coffee before, because it will dehydrate you, and it could raise cortisol, right? Get it done in the morning so that we can get morning cortisol levels, so that you know what your cortisol functioning is like and your adrenals are like. Do it fasted, so that there's not changes in markers which are affected by food. Like they don't
drink alcohol.
Yeah, don't drink alcohol, or like be hydrated. Like drink some water before you go in. Like they don't say any of these things to people, and that's just a basic thing. And it's not because they have huge impacts on the results, but it's because they have maybe anywhere between a 1 to 3% impact on the results. But that's huge.
Yeah,
because you could pick up dehydration, and it could genuinely be dehydration, but it could also be something else. So knowing these things is important. Plus also understanding why you're getting those bloods done in the first place. Just having random ones picked out of thin air, well, you just can't look at it in isolation. It's not an absolute. Nothing's an absolute. everything's got something else running with it, and the body is a system.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, before I deep dive into that one, I'll let you continue, brother.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great because we were basically going to say the same thing, but
Mm,
I agree. And this is where I think we both got let down by that system.
mm,
And look, the system, we're all going to have a mixed opinion on this, but my opinion is going to be very strong. I've been always been let down by it. My family's been let down by it as well recently,
yep,
over and over again. It is broken. It's not getting better, but that's just my opinion. There are elements to it that there are brilliant. There are great things, but when it comes to a blood testing perspective, I think arguably it's about 17, well, it is 1723 years out of date between scientific evidence and patient care,
yep,
for one. And also, sadly, guys, not many people know this, is when you go there and have your blood test done, one, you don't get told about how to get the best from it. But the second is you are compared to pretty much a sick population group. So
yep,
the people who are going to get their bloods done at the doctors and the population group that you're getting your results compared to. So you could be a really healthy individual, eating really well, exercising every day, training hard, you name it, but you're still getting compared to the elderly and the sick. So that's
yep,
not really a good way to really measure your health markers.
yep,
So where we come in, and why we chose to go down the functional med route
mm,
and look at this from a different way, is we look at the quality of living. We look at optimal health by tighter reference ranges that we mark.
we
And
do.
also, they're a lot more up to date. So myself and Mark, every quarter we'll jump on a call. We'll look at our sheets. We'll look at new evidence because we fucking have to.
Mm,
We have to at the end of the day. So we're updating our sheets every quarter.
mm,
You can't tell me that your GPs and doctors are doing that
no, of
every quarter. They're
That's so,
so overwhelmed. They're rushed.
course they are. And not only that, but they are tied by certain guidelines and
Yes.
legislation. And also, unfortunately, medicine or the pharmaceutical industry is at least 10, 20 years behind the actual most recent data
Yes.
and the most recent research. So it was only up until recently that you could go to the doctor and say to them about low stomach acid, and they'd be like, "What are you talking about? No such thing." Or SIBO, no such thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So there's no such thing as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. All right. Right. But that's up until recently. You could say to them, okay, what about hyperpermeability? Leaky gut. Rubbish.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's not because they're being flippant deliberately. It's because they're not up to speed, because the
No.
research and the data hasn't trickled down yet, because it's not uh it's not gonna profitize in any way, shape, or form. There isn't a drug they can
Mm,
give for that.
no.
And they don't have the time to explain it. There's
Oh no. Oh no.
so many broken parts of the system, and this isn't a disrespect to any doctor or GP or consultant or surgeon or anybody, because the system is broken, not the
Mm,
people. But
no.
they need to stay up to speed. They
Yes.
need they need to go into the research and read it, and some of them, and a lot of them now are, but there are some that are still very much stuck in the days of like 4 channels on the TV, and shops were shut on a Sunday. They're still in that era.
They've just discovered fire for the first time.
Yeah, and cave paintings. And
That's a bit harsh. That's a bit
that is
harsh.
harsh. That is harsh.
Um,
We'll have to edit that bit out.
nah, leave that in. Leave that
We'll
in.
be fine. We'll be fine.
But no, that is essentially the difference, isn't it? And why we choose to go down that route. And also, like you said earlier, like we can look at more markers with the way that we test people.
Yeah.
We can look at uh the body from such a wide lens. Unfortunately, they've only average they've got now in 2024 6.4 minutes to see you. Is that really enough time to build rapport, look at your health history, look at your nutrition, look at where you live, your environment, what
Yeah.
supplements you're taking? No, of course not. These all play massive factors. So we can. So this is why we get great results with not just our health, but with the people that we work with who come to us and trust in us to give them the right information. Because yeah, we've spent countless hours and tens of thousands investing in our education doing this.
Yep.
And proof is in the pudding. Proof
Yes.
is in the pudding. More and more people waking up, I feel, to this, and taking things into their own hands.
Mhm.
I have people drop messages in my inbox, same as you, Mark, weekly with, how does it all work, Joe? Like, I want to do a blood test. I've been let down again. I've just come back as everything is normal, despite all my symptoms saying otherwise. I'm tired all the time. I'm lacking energy. Um, I struggle to lose weight, struggle to build muscle, or the worst case that we kind of deal with is problems with the digestive issues as well, and how that's impacting them. And you know, these are common but not normal symptoms.
Yep.
So when looked closer, and this is why we do the blood test and the subjective, and going back to the objective data, we can summarize. We can, not go, we've cracked the code, but with evidence, we can
Mhm.
find trends, can't we,
Yep.
Mark,
Mhm.
from this information, and not hypothesize, but like basically summarize and point, this is what it could be. Not like this is indefinite, but this is what it could be.
Yep.
And when you match all those things against what the body is telling us, because like we said earlier, it's a snapshot in time and our blood doesn't lie because it's literally a boom, print, snapshot
Yep.
picture on that date and that time. What the hell is going on? We can kind of work from there and
Yep.
build our health protocols. And these health protocols are amazing, aren't they, Mark? They obviously are nutrition. The proper, is it the correct terminology is nutraceutical,
Yep.
nutraceutical
Nutraceuticals.
support, supplementation, lifestyle, and then we can go one step further than that, and you can take it or leave it. It's a bit woo woo, but it's not. Herbal teas,
Yep.
aromatherapy, and other lifestyle factors that can really make a big difference
Yep.
into the results that you get.
Definitely, 100%. And I think you highlighted a very important point there, which is all tests are probabilities.
Mm.
They're all probabilities based on algorithms. That's all they are, and what we currently know about them. And as we know more, these will change.
Hmm.
So we are always basing these on probabilities. The higher the probability, the more like the if we interpret somebody's bloods and we see something coming up again and again and again and again and again in a
Yeah.
trend, as you say, well, this increases the probability of that being a thing. So
Mm.
let's just use leaky gut as an example. If we're seeing this coming up a lot, and we have seen from their and we've done that analysis, then we check their health screen form and we see that they talk about upper gastro issues and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Okay, cool. Well, that now increases that probability from what could have been maybe 50% to now maybe 85%. And for me, I look at things that are 65% and above, because anything that's 65% or less, well, they're probably downstream effects of all of these other things that are going on over here. So if we pull these big levers and look at these
Mm.
will probably all sort themselves out.
Yeah.
Again, we are not prescribing anything and we are not saying to somebody, this is definite. It is a recommendation based off what we have seen in a pattern recognition kind of system.
Mm.
We have got what each blood marker means, what each blood marker from a high perspective could mean, what it means from a low perspective could mean. Then we've got obviously the health screening form. And I do the bloods first, then look at the health screening form because I don't want to go in there with a bias for you. And then we are just coming up with the trends. That is
Yeah.
what we're looking for. And from that, we can then suggest them, okay, we suggest these lifestyles, this lifestyle change, these nutritional
Yeah.
changes, these sleep changes, these changes in your training, these changes in the foods, timing that you have your food, these supplements, take these supplements out, add these supplements in. And this is something, again, that I just want to highlight as well. If you are going to a practitioner that is doing bloods for you, and when you get your protocol, you have got like £900 a week worth of supplements,
Mm.
there's something really wrong with that protocol.
Mm.
It doesn't cost that much for supplements, and it shouldn't be supplemented the whole way through.
Yes.
Like, I'd
Yeah.
see a lot of coaches out there doing this where they're just chucking a shit ton of supplements at people. Well, that's expensive, and you're
Yeah.
basically potentially putting people into a financial problem so that they can take the thing that they think that they should be taking, because again, they're looking for that quick fix. And all
Hmm.
you're doing with the supplement is the same as what I guess anything that's out there that's marketed is trying to do, which is to solve that quick thing instantly. Take this pill and you'll lose weight, right? How many
Yes.
fat burners do we see, right? But we all know it's bullshit, but yet people still buy it, right?
Yeah.
So it's about a fine blend of these
Yeah.
things and not doing them all in one go. Like
Mm.
break them up into stages. Like it can take over a year to heal a gut.
Yeah.
Long. So
And
if
usually
that's
it's the thing that you were doing at the beginning that undoes all your work.
right. So
It doesn't get talked about.
if you're trying to heal the gut and the liver and start drainage and detox processes working properly and support the spleen and the gallbladder and the pancreas and you're treating the thyroid and they've got like neural inflammation and they've also got microtoxicity, so you're trying to detox that and chuck in a binder, and then they've got to get up in the morning and journal for an hour, then they've got to do red light for 7 hours, then they've got to meditate for 50 hours. It's
Stand on
way
one leg and rub your head at the same time.
yeah, right. It's way too much.
Yeah.
Break it up. You've got time. It's
Yeah.
not taken them an hour to get into this state. It's probably taken 10, 20 years of really bad stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to take time to get out of it. And the way that you set this up with people is that expectation.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are not, yes, we do 3, 6, and 12 month protocols, but that's because it breaks it up financially and from a ease of perspective view. So we can say, okay, we're going to do this for 8 weeks, this for 8 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever the case may be. And we're going to slowly start to see incremental changes. I'm not going to give you something all of a sudden you're going to be like, da-da, I feel amazing and everything's great. All the weight's fallen off, my brain fog's gone and I can carry on with my day and it's only taken a week.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's going to take time. And that just then comes down to the practitioner, because I'm sure you get this as well. I get people that come to me that have been to other practitioners. They've been to other functional doctors and they've not got sorted, but they've come away with a like 10 grand supplement fee.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've had it.
Right. Like, wow.
Well. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. Like an awful lot. And it's literally like page after page after page after page after page of supplements.
Yeah. Yeah.
Insane.
It's very important to meet you where you're at. What can you see
100%.
yourself doing realistically from this list?
100%.
And then from there, budget.
Yep.
Because it's not cheap. It's not cheap, and it will increase. Sadly, it's just everything does. But even with, because that gets asked quite a lot as well. How do you test for it? Like what is the step by steps? So we use a couple of labs. We'll talk about the UK. Like the other countries are a bit different. I don't know, some of you who are listening to this podcast are in different countries, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for those who are listening in the UK, we've got a couple of labs that we use, don't we, Mark? Which are pretty good. But it's, again, what is very, very important is when you get a test done, even if you do it on your own, is who's analyzing it as well. What ranges are they comparing you to? Because like we said earlier on, even these testing companies in the UK and worldwide, very rarely will they use functional medicine reference ranges.
No, they won't.
They won't. So you'll get things flagged up as high. The big one that we see all the time is possibly cholesterol, Mark.
Yep.
Still gets demonized to this day. But in actual fact, it's not high. So it's very, very important to get those markers and analyze them within functional medicine ranges to get a more accurate insight into what on earth is going on with your body and your current health status.
100%.
And that is like the map to plot out where you need to go. We have our head in.
We do. And I think it's important as well when somebody's talking you through these results that they actually take the time to explain to you these things.
Yeah.
Because again, if we use cholesterol as the example, and I don't want to like go over this over and over and over all the time, because we do say this quite a lot, that the whole cholesterol thing that's been pushed by the media and the narrative about it all is all bullshit. The body makes like 70% of cholesterol. So if your cholesterol is high, well, your body's made 70% of it. It's not because you've been eating bacon and eggs. So unless there's like a hyperlipidemia thing going on, which obviously is a different story, but like if your body's making 70% of the cholesterol itself, then you have to ask the question, why is it high? What's it doing? What's it serving? It's serving a purpose. The body doesn't make mistakes. Nature doesn't make mistakes. Everything is exactly as it should be. It might seem like a faulty pattern. Like if we use autoimmunity as an example, like the ulcerative colitis thing that I went through, you could say, well, that's wrong. Well, is it? Was my body just responding to the input that it was being given?
Yes.
Probably, right? So we then have to change the input and then we'll start getting a different output.
Yes.
You need to have somebody explain this. Now, I can give you an example. So my mum got her bloods done recently by her GP because she was getting some gallbladder issues. And I told her it was gallbladder issues. I said, there's nothing going on. And I was like, it's just the gallbladder. I said, we'll just get you some supplements I'll get you a supplement to support the gallbladder, some Oxbal or something.
Yep.
But she still went and get blood test done anyway. It's like, okay, fine. Again, random markers of like 7. And I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. But all they did was
here's the panel.
Yeah.
It should be 10 markers, this jigsaw. We're only giving you 4.
Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But she's got it. And all they've done on her bloods, they've highlighted platelets as high.
Yeah.
So of course, my mum has gone on to Google and Google search what does high platelets mean.
Yeah.
Cancer and all these other types of things. And my mum is freaking out.
Yeah.
So I've spoken to her and said to her, okay, give me the results. I'll pop them into my sheet and I'll interpret them for her. Instantly with platelets, I'm like, right, okay, cool. This is to do with what's going on with you. We've got like some basically low iron. So there's
dehydration's a big one as well.
Hydration is a big one.
Yeah.
But for her, I was just like, look, we've got some iron deficiency going on here. And I know that it's iron deficiency and low stomach acid with you. Like I know this because I know my mum well. This is what the health screen form would do. But I'm like, this is to do with low iron and low stomach acid. Oh, well, what makes you say that? I was like, well, you have digestive issues, number 1.
Yeah.
I know it's low stomach acid. You have an aversion to eating meat, low stomach acid. I said, but because you don't eat a lot of red meat, you don't get heme iron. So therefore you are iron deficient, therefore ergo anemic. Oh, so that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
And other markers you gave me all point to the same thing. B vitamin deficiencies, low stomach acid, anemia. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I got diagnosed with anemia when I was pregnant with you. I was like, well, there we go then. That answer.
Yeah.
Oh, my doctor really worried me.
Of course they will.
No shit. No shit.
Yeah, him a statin.
Yeah. Here's a statin. Here's some here's an SSRI. Here's a PPI. Here's something like, oh, okay, all right, great.
Yeah. Here's a pill. See you in 8 months' time when you come back for your next one. See you never. Bye.
Man, unbelievable.
This is the problem that we're at, and this is why we're fighting the good fight as well. This stuff because we're so annoyed. We're frustrated by the lack of care and due diligence, and this is why we get great results because we actually put the time into you guys, and look at the objective and the subjective data.
Exactly. You have to understand so that people can understand what we mean by subobjective and objective data. Subobjective is the data that you are giving us. So that interoceptive kind of look, when you check in with yourself, how do I feel? So when you're answering these questions, like, do you get these symptoms? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Well, you're having to look deep in and go, do I? Well, this is now you telling you how you feel. And then when we read that, that's you telling us how you feel, because that's important. Because you might have, as a man, you might have low testosterone symptoms, but your testosterone might be optimal.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if that's the case, you've not got low testosterone symptoms because of low testosterone. You've got them for something else. And those symptomologies could also be coming and could be related to another thing going on. It could be to do with the gut again. It could be to do with the mind. It could be to do with many things. So the subobjective data is giving us what you think or feel, and the objective data is giving us what's actually happened as that screenshot of that particular moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's important to have both.
Yeah. And going back to where to get these tests from, guys, is you do have to go private. Is something that you have to do and pay some money towards. They can be in the range of £160, upwards of £250, £300, and more.
Yeah, just depends on
obviously, and obviously the analysis fee on top of that, and
phlebotomy fee.
Yeah, and everything else that goes with it. But it is probably the best money you'll spend.
Yeah.
To really
it's an investment, not a cost.
Yes,
it's an investment.
It's not a cost. I see so many people waste money every month on takeaways and what's the new one in the minute? The hair protein test and a blood glucose monitor and Apple Fitbits and watches and fancy gym memberships.
Yep.
That stuff is great, but if you really want to get a true insight to how well you're functioning, how it's optimally working, and what are the next steps,
Mm.
get a blood test. Get a blood test done.
Agreed.
you know.
100%.
And there's a couple of companies that we use.
Yeah,
Mark, you've been setting up something quite juicy, haven't you, with a different company?
I have. They are just in a position to offer more.
Yeah.
And
More markers we're talking
yeah,
about. Yeah.
and not that much more than what we're currently being charged from the other company already.
Yeah.
And this is important because it gives us options with people, right? So if somebody wants to have more markers done, we've now got that facility for them to do that. But not just that, they offer different tests. So we've now got a company, we will have a company that will be able to offer us extra tests, not just the blood test. So we can do like echocardiograms if we need to and stuff like that. We can do like the ozone pass if we need to. So if somebody wants to get their blood oxygenated and you do like a 3, 5, or 10 stage pass, we can do that too. Like that, it gives us options that for people that can invest that amount of money into themselves if they want to or need to. It's nice to have the choice.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Just getting a blood test done once or twice each year as an MOT. You do the same for your car.
Yep.
You need to do it for your body.
Yep.
And like for those who have pets, will know the expense of going to the veterinarian. Like would happily fork out, and we had the same with our golden retriever. Sadly, it wasn't very well at all. And that was like $1,000. But this is what I'm saying. We need to prioritize health.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to invest in yourself because it's the best money you'll spend to give you so much more data,
Yep.
and you'll learn so much from it. I've also noticed, and you can back me up here, Mark. When you explain someone what is going on with their bloods, their level of adherence and that penny drop moment for them, that wake up call, like what I'm doing is fucking me up. Fucking my body up. It needs to stop. It's like the aha moment for a lot of people, which it can be great. And for some people as well, like when I first had mine, because I'll be honest, and I'm raw because I'm very honest with the and very transparent. I hate bloody getting my bloods done. I bloody hate it. Like it fills me with fear. And the first time I had my blood test done, I had it at my home because you can pay to have a phlebotomist visit your house. And for those who don't know what a phlebotomist is, it's basically a vampire, qualified nurse that takes blood, draws it in the daytime, and sends it off for you. It's great fun. Shout out to my phlebotomist Holly. She's great. She sorts all of our clients out. We should have got her on actually.
Oh, we should have done actually.
Some
That would be
stuff.
cool.
Maybe next time around
Next
we'll
time.
invite more guests. But yeah, I fainted in my first test, and I caught it. The ring camera caught it. So I'll show you the video afterwards, and if anyone wants to see it, I will share it in a minute. But I just want to resonate with everyone. Like, if you are worried
Yeah,
about this done and have a great fear of needles,
yeah,
like being in the hands of someone like my phlebotomist, and I'm sure you've had the same, Mark, who knows what they're doing. It's
yeah,
so much more peace of mind doing it at your home. You can
yeah,
lay down on your couch. It's effortless. It's over in minutes, and you've got valuable data. You've got valuable data. It's done and dusted. You've done it, and it gets sent off and it's fast tracked through the postal system, and you can get your results back in 24 hours. You're not waiting around for weeks chasing up your doctors like, "Hey, Dr. P, just checking in. Have you had my blood test back?" "Oh, not yet. We're still waiting on the lab results." That's horseshit. Or you get the classic, "Oh yeah, sorry, Joe. Everything's come back as normal, so nothing to worry about here. See you later." And that's it.
yep.
So yeah, I completely resonate with those who are a bit fearful of doing it.
Mhm.
Like I too, fainted, caught on the ring camera, got the video. If anyone wants to watch it, it's quite funny actually. But there you go. Anything else to add, Mark, on that one? Have you ever fainted in a
Um,
test or not?
no, I've never fainted. Um, I'm not that squeamish, if I'm honest, so I don't really mind this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But again, even for somebody that's not squeamish,
Mm.
it's not like I look forward to that moment where I'm sat here and the nurse has walked into my home and she's about to stick a needle in my arm. It's not a fun thing. But when the nurse turns up and she's got her own kit and she pulls out like the butterfly needle, which is not painful and all the rest of it,
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. This is somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're very lovely and they're very kind of softly spoken and they're all very nice. So, and again, it takes like 5 minutes and it's done. And then all you got to do is put it in the post office and post it, and that's it. Sometimes you get, as I say, like normally we get the results back within 24 hours. Sometimes it's 48. It just depends on how many bloods they've got to get through. But yeah, I just think with all of these things, the more I'm gonna take a Peter Drucker quote
Yep.
where he said, "What gets measured gets managed, or what doesn't get measured doesn't get managed."
Yeah.
So unless you are testing, you are guessing.
Yeah.
And
You are chucking mud at a wall and seeing what
yeah,
sticks.
right. That would be like getting on a plane and they never test them. They just guess that it's working all right.
We think the
We
wheels
think we
and
think the
the wings
engines
are
are
attached.
okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
think the wings are still attached.
Yeah.
Think the pilot is a pilot and not a cat in a hat. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't get on that plane.
Yeah.
Took your car to the garage and it was like, oh, well, we can't test it, but I guess engine's fucked. Right? You'd be like, test it.
Yeah.
For God's sake, test it. I'm not paying
Yeah.
money for something that you're guessing.
Yeah.
Just with the body. You know, think about, and this is something I said to a prospective client last week. He sent me before our call every supplement that he takes. Right. And I get this a lot. I ask every client to do this, but
Yeah.
he sent it before he'd even signed up. And I was sat working and my phone was going mm, 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 mm,
Oh wow.
50 times. Each picture is a different supplement or something else that they're taking.
Oh my God.
And I was like, holy
No
shit,
food, just
right?
supplements.
Just supplements. And
Yeah.
I was like, do you take all of these? They were like, yeah,
Oh,
all the time. Oh, some of them not every day, but yeah. I'm looking at that. I'm thinking, right. That's again, I joked at the beginning like £900 a week worth of supplements, but that's basically what that person's spending every single month is roughly about £700 on supplements, I reckon. Because some of them were really expensive. Still like £100 just for one supplement for a month, one of some of these.
yeah.
And then when people say, oh, it's expensive to do these blood tests and stuff.
It is when you're spending £900 a month on supplements and
Right?
seeing what sticks. Yeah.
It's like, have a look at what you're spending your money on.
Yeah.
If you just think about this, right? There's a great book called The Automatic Millionaire, and in that they talked about something called the latte factor. So if you think about if every day you go and get a latte, right?
Yep.
And nowadays that's probably going to cost you £4.50 or a fiver or something like that. And you do that Monday to Sunday, and that's 35 quid a week. Times that by a month,
Yeah.
then 6, and then a year. That's a lot of money, right? But that's just a latte. And I think about like your phone bill or eating out and going out every weekend. You're probably blowing about £100 on alcohol and food and stuff every weekend.
Mm.
Like that's a lot of money, which if you just didn't do it for a month, you'd be able to afford to get a blood test done and see what your health's at. So it's not about not being able to afford it. It's about
Yeah.
the
Priority. Yes. Yeah.
priority, right? That's all it
Exactly.
comes down to, right?
Yeah.
It's just the priority. And when I was doing the talk for the high performing entrepreneurs last weekend, I said to them, one of my clients, very, 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 very well off, very comfortable. And he's one of those people that can walk into Ferrari and pay for things cash. Like there's just never going to be ever a worry about money. And the one thing he said to me was, he's like, Mark, I've got all this money, but the only thing I wanted when I was sick was my health. And I couldn't pay for it. But there you go. So the man that has everything, when he's sick, only wants one thing. Right? So that's how you can look at why getting things like this done is important.
Yeah.
Because this meat suit that we've got, you only get one. You can't trade it in.
No, exactly.
Right? It's got to take you from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
So why do it in pain and discomfort while
Yeah.
wearing your fancy Nike shoes and your new iPhone and your Apple Watch and all the rest of it, which are great things to have, but they're not priorities,
No.
right?
No.
So think of
Quick
it more as an investment.
quick hits of dopamine that generally
Yep.
the novelty wears off after a week of wearing them.
It always does. It
Yeah.
always does. But
No,
you're
I get it. I
but
get it.
yeah, but
Get it.
you're now thinking like, okay, I can put effort into something which is actually going to make a significant difference for me.
Yeah. And also it'll fast track your results and your knowledge as well.
Yep.
It will. That's what I'm looking forward to, even with the seminar I'm doing. It's knowledge. It's leveling you
Of course
up.
it
But
is. Of
there's
course
a
it
lot
is.
of people who have been so interested in this stuff. It's like I'll wait till and those who yeah I want to get paid at the end of the month. I'm doing it and I love that because they're sort of prioritizing themselves. But even those who haven't gone forward, I feel sorry for because they're going to miss out. They're
Mm.
going to miss out on like just peace of mind, knowing what's going on, and actually helping you fast track your results and make your
Yep.
life quality so much better. Make you run around with your kids faster, and not be out of breath, not suffer and eventually have to go and get ill health and catch, be another statistic that we read
Yep.
with disease and cancers and all these things can be prevented
Yep.
if you change your perspective and do things from a different
Of course.
way of
Of course.
thinking.
And when if we look into the psychology of like buying, right? People
Yeah.
buy through emotion,
Yeah.
and that most of that emotion is going to be certainty. They're looking for certainty, but it's also going to come down to trust. So
Yeah.
you trust the person enough that you believe that what they're offering you is you're going to be certain to get the
Sure.
result you want.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, right. So in that instance, like I've lost my train of thought now.
Yeah, in that instance, so certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Track me back. What were you talking about before?
So we're talking about, yeah, no, what you no, I'm lost now.
Oh my God. What was I going to say? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Buying decision,
Right. Buying.
emotional buying.
I
Yes.
remember now. I remember where I was going with this. So they're buying with certainty and they're buying through trust, right? So those two things. So all you have to consider is this. Neither myself, nor Joey, nor any other coach that is out there has ever had somebody come back to them and say to them, I really regret investing money in myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never. I've never had that. I've never had somebody say, oh, I wish I'd lost that weight.
Yeah.
I really wish we hadn't sorted out that erectile dysfunction. I hate having sex. But this has never happened.
Or I regret having naturally helped conceive my two kids.
I wish we just spent all that money on Ivy. Like,
Yeah.
never happened.
Yeah.
Never happened.
It's a big
So
one, isn't it?
why I
Yeah.
brought up certainty and the trusting is because when you do invest this money, do it in somebody that you trust and are certain that will get you the result.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you're after.
Agree.
When people say, oh, I need to go away and think about it, all they want is more information, where they're not going to get any more information because the person that they need the information from is the person that they've just ended the call with.
Mm.
So all that's telling you is that you just didn't trust them or you weren't certain that they could get you the result.
Yeah.
So just make sure that when you do pay this amount of money, whatever amount of money it might be, just make sure you're certain and just
Mm.
make sure you trust them.
Yeah. Results as well.
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding. It's why we post endless testimonials every single day, week. Arguably, no one always wants to. I've got like clients like yourself, Mark, are very private people that don't want their pictures plastered up online, but there's those individuals too that can that have been bear in mind. So, yeah, I think that's quite a nice place to end on, actually.
I do. I do. But I do have one thing that I just want to add in.
Hmm.
So we can pick 3 or 4, 2 each, trends that we see a lot at the
Oh,
moment.
okay.
That could be quite interesting for people.
Okay.
I can jump in on this one if you haven't got
It's
one.
loads. It's loads, isn't there?
Okay. So one of the trends that I see, this is impacting some of the young lads that I work with.
Okay.
Most young lads now that I see 20 years old and up have got the lowest testosterone levels I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like chronically low, to like the point where there are women that I've seen that have got higher testosterone. Like it's quite crazy how low it is.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign, you know.
No.
And that's why we're getting quotes like the world's going to be infertile by 2050
Yeah.
and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's a common thing that I'm seeing a lot of recently.
And we won't talk about how to treat it because there's so many different ways to skin a cat.
Really.
It's not just fixed with a Tomcat Ali supplement or a Fedoda agrestis. Unfortunately, it requires other interventions as well.
It does.
And some would argue, actually, more hedonic, more looking at things from a spiritual realm as well, unraveling past traumas and.
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as woo-woo as that sounds, it has its part to play, and
It
it
does.
still gets highly used in Chinese medicine. So,
It does.
okay. Um, I think a big one, an indication to how well you are digesting your protein for gains if you're trying to build more muscle and arguably trying to lose body fat. We know protein intake is very, very important for a whole host of things in the body. Total protein.
Yep.
If that is showing low in your test, it can indicate poor protein absorption, digestion, and further insight that things like your stomach acid, which is needed to break it and assimilate it and do all sorts of things around the body, is also low.
Mhm.
And I think another one, Mark, I'd add on that, it affects about 80% of people in the UK, arguably more than that with people that we see. I haven't seen one person who has optimal levels of this vitamin D.
Oh, mate, chronic.
Yeah, vitamin
Chronic.
D.
Yeah,
Everyone
chronic.
is deficient in vitamin D, and it's so vital for immune function.
Yeah.
It's a fat soluble nutrient. It's mainly activated, isn't it, when it's contacted with the skin. So that gives you insight. We don't get much sunlight as it is.
Nope.
But there is a need to actually supplement it and ensure you're getting it for your diet. But then it goes back to what we were saying way back when, is looking up the chain in the hierarchy. If you can't digest and assimilate it, then you're going to be deficient in it.
You are. You are.
You are going to be deficient if you are living in the UK in vitamin D.
You are. 100%. And I think,
And that's a rabbit hole in itself because there's magnesium, there's zinc, there's B vitamins.
I was about to jump down that rabbit hole about the non-active and active forms of vitamin D and all the rest of it. But a lot of this will come down to the level of blue light exposure you get.
Blue white.
Jonathan
Was.
Yeah, it'll come down to the level of blue light exposure, and I'm talking non-native blue light exposure, so laptops, phones, TVs, overhead lights, all that type of stuff, as well as the amount of non-native EMF you're exposed to, because all of this makes it difficult for the body to convert non-active vitamin D into active vitamin D, which will then trend into a low vitamin D score, even though you could be living in a hot country, a warm, sunny country. This happens a lot in California, believe it or not.
Interesting.
They're all rocking around with wicked tans, but they have chronically low levels of vitamin D because they are surrounded by non-native EMF, toxic levels of blue light, and
basically.
And the power grid functions at a particular hertz. I think it's like 50 hertz, and that impacts the body's ability to transform non-active to active vitamin D.
So basically, you're saying sell your house, just leave society and go live
in the woods.
Oh
You see
god.
all these people just standing out in the moors, just being like, we don't know what we're doing here, but we're getting light. Everything's fine. Yeah.
I think that's quite a nice one. And if it look, and because there's so many other markers that we could go down, but I think those are some introductions of what to look for. You know, would make a big difference. Vitamin D, testosterone, your total protein. You could talk about bilirubin, hard time digesting fats. But guys, what we'd guide you to is to look. If you want to look at this stuff more insight and get fast tracking knowledge and do things properly, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. Look, if you have a test and it's all already been done, beautiful. We can help you look at it. But if you need help, please do reach out. Drop us a message. We're more than happy to help out. This is what we do. And this is how we get amazing results.
True. Agreed. Couldn't say any better, brother.
Yeah. And now it's time for a break before we go to the 10-minute tinfoil hat special.
Cannot wait.
Right,
guys, in a bit.
Guys, get a quick coffee, go around to the bathroom, do what you have to do. We'll be back.
We will. See you in a bit.
And we're back.
Welcome to the Tinfoil Hat 10-Minute Takeover, where we're about to unravel the secrets and myths that the health and fitness industry doesn't want you to know. Mark and Joey will be exposing the shocking studies and revealing the unspoken truths that will challenge your perception of health and well-being. So get ready for a mind-bending journey as they shed light on the hidden facts, debunk the myths, and question the status quo. It's time to trade in your tinfoil hat for the wisdom and knowledge you've been missing. Buckle up for the Tinfoil Hat Takeover.
And we're back.
We are.
Here we go. 10-minute tinfoil hat takeover. Let's do it, Mark. I'm excited for this one today. Now, this one, I was very, very skeptical way back when. I thought people who talk about this particular subject are talking out their asses. And for those who don't live in the UK, it's basically a term that we use, talking out their ass. They're talking nonsense.
Talking shit.
Talking shit. Talking trash, man.
Yeah,
And was a very, very tinfoil hat subject. And this is why we're actually, after further investigation and research and digging around, we were going to give you the facts so you can formulate your own opinion and think it's bogus or not. But here we go. Cloud seeding, chemtrails, or in other words, its technical term is geoengineering.
Yep.
So here we go. So I found this article, and guys, I know it's not the best. TheGuardian.com coming in again. Should we share my screen to pop up for those who are watching?
Yeah, if you want to, brother.
Yeah, and we can put it in the show notes as well. But here it is. So, company offers rain-free wedding days for £100,000. So, a luxury. Before I get into this, actually, it's because the current state of affairs. There was recently a very big storm, wasn't there, Mark?
It was in
Dubai, and they had a lot of floods. Well, a big flood, should we say?
They had a year's worth of rain in a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is two sides of the fence here, where one is saying, "Oh, it's climate change, and it's because we're fucking, eating too much meat."
Yeah.
Not because we drive around in cars still. No, it's because we eat meat. Or we got the other side of the fence is, no, it's because they can see the fucking clouds and they do geoengineering.
I actually watched a news article about this, and they interviewed the geoengineering cloud seeding kind of guys in Dubai, the guys in charge of it. So they've openly admitted that they caused it. But the reason why they caused it is because they cloud seeded before a storm was coming in.
Right.
So it was wrong timing.
Oh, shit.
Very, very wrong timing on their part. But they have you can Google search this. They have a massive cloud seeding geoengineering part of their government. And they're the top of their field and all the rest of it. But yeah, even the top of their field got it massively wrong.
Interesting. Interestingly. So we'll bring that article up in a minute, but the article I've got here is more than 9 years old, okay, but I feel it still has a part to play because this company in the UK, which are still going to this day, so there you go, a luxury holiday company is offering to use geoengineering, cloud seeding to guarantee fair weather and clearer skies for the starting price tag of 100k. So would you pay 100k to keep the rain away on your wedding day? Luxury holiday company Oliver's Travels is hoping some couples will. Since January, it has offered an eye-catching new service. For 100k or more, is offering to harness the cloud-seeding powers of science to guarantee fair weather and clear skies for your wedding day. And this has been going on actually since the 40s, doesn't it, Mark? We've actually got a legislation here from Australia, the Rainmaking Control Act 1967. And also there was a Freedom of Information request from the Department of Energy and Climate Change here in the UK in 2013. So a good while ago. Basically deep diving into it is actually a thing. So for those who are actually on the side of the fence saying that cows and you guys eating meat and are the problem to all this thing, climate change, and it can't be true that we can change weather patterns, you're wrong. So this is actually happening, whether you like it or not. We're not wearing just tinfoil hats for this. We're actually calling this one out.
And just please note on this screen right now, if Joey goes to point number 2, please explain by what means cloud seeding is achieved via unmanned airborne vehicles or other, and please specify. Please also reveal if unmanned airborne vehicles or other aircraft, by what means these are powered, i.e. rocket or jet or other. Please specify if other. That's an important point because it will lead into the chemtrail side of things. Yeah. Okay, so just want to point out that this was asked to be revealed in 2013.
Yeah, more than happy to send this over to any of you guys if you want to read it. It's quite interesting, really interesting. It's going back since the 50s. So there's been well-known, documented facts of, you know, the whole, not just the UK, other countries too, jumping on the bandwagon to basically de-engineer the weather patterns, basically. So why we brought this article up, I thought it was quite funny. It was quite like novel. Like we all pray for good weather. It's something that we're always complaining about, but it can have very negative and detrimental outcomes, like we've seen in this Dubai flood, right? And essentially, how it works is they fly a jet, they fly a plane up, and they basically drop this compound called silver iodide. And silver iodide acts as a freezing nuclei. I'm sure I pronounced that right. And it's a key component in formation of
precipitation.
Precipitation. Thank you, Mark. So water vapor molecules collide with it and turn it into ice crystals that fall to Earth as rain. So the theory is by managing the concentrations of the freezing nuclei in a portion of atmosphere, meteorologists, me my word, I can't pronounce this, can control the levels of rainfall in the landscape below. So yeah, this is actually happening, and it's actually been documented in other countries too. The Russians, since the 40s. Obviously, this was 9 years ago, guys. It's a bit of a touchy subject with Russia, but they see clouds to ensure bright skies for their major celebrations of the year, Victory Day, City Day in Russia, and the Chinese do as well. No surprise. They fire 21 silver iodide rockets into the Beijing skies in 8th of August 2008, 4 hours before the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, and the rain stayed away. And there's even talks of William Kate doing it too for their wedding. So yeah, very, very interesting, right, Mark?
It is.
If you want to read the whole article, it's good fun. More than happy to send this over. But what do we think, Mark? And have you got any more to add to that?
I can add to this. So when I was in northern Spain for my cousin's wedding back in like 2010 or 2011, in the area where we were staying, which is a place called Pontevedra, we were out by the pool one afternoon, and we could just hear this boom, like a cannon, like just, and it was repeatedly going on. Like every couple of minutes, you'd hear this boom. And it was only when I went into the town later that day, and I said to one of the locals, like, "What was all of that about?" And they're like, "Oh, it's cloud bursting. It's the opposite of cloud seeding. Cloud bursting is where they launch something into the air to disperse the clouds. And the reason why they do that in that particular area is because I believe, and again, this was 2011, so my memory might be a little bit sketchy on the reason, was that it's a mining town. So a lot of, I know it was paper milling. That was it. So in the paper mills and the factories, it pushes out a lot of cloud into the air. Like imagine like what we sometimes get in the UK with those big smoke tubes and the smoke coming out the top, bellowing out the top, the carbon monoxide and all the rest of that's coming out the CO2 and all the nasty stuff that's coming out of the top of the paper mill, and it's forming a cloud over the town. So they would burst the cloud to get rid of it so that the sun would come through. So this is something that has been going on a really long time, and this will then lead into the chemtrail conversation, which me and you have had quite a few times, and I've had a lot of the time with a lot of people, and I post on my socials quite a lot. And since I've actually been posting it, I get people messaging me all the time about it now. They'll send me pictures being like, this is happening in my area, like it will happen in Texas, or that will happen somewhere in, I don't know, Italy or somewhere, or in Australia. And people are sending me these pictures, like, look at the sky, and it looks like a noughts and crosses board.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's not natural. Like, okay, I get that there's contrails, which is the freezing of vapor that comes out the back of a normal plane when it's at a certain altitude. I get that, but this is not a contrail, because contrails disappear. Like if you ever used to watch Concorde back in the day, it would have a jet that would come out of the back because it used to fly at a much higher altitude to be able to go a lot further, faster. But the vapor would disappear. With the chemtrails, they stay, they linger, and they start to wisp and they spread in lines. And then I guarantee you, within a couple of hours of you seeing that in the sky, the weather will change and it will start getting cloudier, or the wind will pick up. Something will change about the weather. The sun will disappear. The blue sky will start to fade out. And they do this a lot in the morning and in the evening when most people are not outside. But also what's relevant now is most people are like all day long on their phone.
Yeah.
So look up, because if you can look up, you're going to see it, particularly where I live as well in Hertfordshire. Like it is a noughts and crosses all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm by a flight path,
Look.
so I see it all the time. And I've got videos of these planes
doing
releasing these jets. And you're talking about planes that have got like twin engines each side and these 4 plumes of smoke coming out. And then there's a normal plane over in the corner, just like chilling, like just flying off to land at Heathrow or something. And there's no jet at all.
Yeah.
And these planes that are releasing these jets are really, really high up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
We'll see one going this direction, and then I'll look over here and I'll see another going this direction and another going this direction.
Yeah.
And people are like, Mark, I'm seeing this everywhere now. Like it's happening everywhere. And the weather's the same everywhere. Like the day that Dubai did that and they caused a horrific flood, in the UK, in the middle of April, we'd had 20 degrees and sun on Saturday. And by Monday, we had hailstones, and Tuesday, hailstones, thunder and lightning, and the temperature was like 2 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to put my tinfoil hat on about this one. The weather doesn't change that dramatically, and it's not from us eating meat, and it's not because cows fart in a field.
No.
Like this is all geoengineering, and it's being manipulated for reasons. So like think about it like this. And again, this might be a far reach for people. Just think about this logically, right? If they wanted to, like in the UK, we had a price rise on energy, right? Well, it's important that these companies earn money. And government's invested in this, right? So the government's invested in this. The government needs to make sure that these guys are earning money. And they didn't do anything about stopping the price rise. It went up to stupid levels. Well, if you can't go outside and it's really bloody cold, what are you doing? You're indoors more. And if you're indoors more, your heating's going to be on. Your lights are going to be on. Your TV's going to be on. You're using your laptop all the time. So prices are going to go up. You're going to spend more money on your electricity. Sounds like a far reach, but again, I wouldn't put it past them, right?
Follow the money. Yeah.
Right. You've got to follow the money. And somebody did say to me, oh, but why would they want to block out the sun? Well, because if you get rid of our sun, everything dies. Everything. Because everything is governed by light. Everything in the body is light. So even sound, what you think you're hearing right now is a light frequency, which is going into the ear, into the ocular, and being transferred into sound waves. Food is light. Everything is light. So if you remove the sun, all of a sudden people start getting sicker. All of a sudden there's more depression, there's more neurological issues, there's more disease. Think about how much better you feel when you go on a summer holiday. It's not because of holiday, it's because you're in the bloody sun.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Why do you think we get this yearning to go into the sun? It's not because we want to get a tan, right? That's just a reaction with melanin on the skin. And that's not recent melanin either. That's old melanin that's turning that color. We're getting pulled into the sun because we need it. We have our biggest clock of our entire body, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, in our eyes.
Yeah.
We have melanin receptors in our brain. Well, how does the brain get light? Through the bloody eyes.
Not
through
through
our
the
hair.
screen.
No, through our hair. We have melanin in our hair, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
We have light receptors all over us.
Yeah.
Even our mitochondria, which are the powerhouse of our bodies, produce light at 330 nanowaves. Our bones are light-emitting diodes, right? They are LEDs. There's a reason why we need light. And so there's also a reason why they're trying to block it out. You've got... I'm not going to name the dude in the States who's trying to do this, but just think about the guy who all of a sudden during COVID bought all the land and is the one who's like pushing this everything. Wants to block out the sun. Right? They want to launch these silver crystals into the air to reflect the sun back. Okay, well, how about we like close down the factories and things that are actually polluting the earth? It's got
Yeah.
nothing to
Oh
do
no,
with,
can't do that.
of course you can't, because it's big money, right?
Yeah.
But to add to this chemtrail thing, there were, and I showed you this before we start recording, in January 2024 and in March 2024, 2 states in America banned a conspiracy theory, right? That's like banning unicorns, right? Unicorns are not allowed in our state, neither are leprechauns.
The two
Neither,
can't be mixed.
exactly. Neither are dragons. Not allowed, right?
Oh, why not?
They've banned a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah.
So New Hampshire so I'll read the first one. Tennessee Senate passes bill banning chemtrails. Legislators in the state of Tennessee have passed a bill seeking to ban the spraying of chemicals into the atmosphere. The government weather manipulation technique is known as geoengineering. The Senate state passed, and then it's gone on to another little bit. And then New Hampshire becomes the second US state to ban chemtrails. New Hampshire has become the second US state to potentially outlaw the spraying of aerosolized particulate matters into the skies. So, what is in this particulate matter? Well, from what I have brought up through my research, and again, these aren't, and we have to think about like fact and truth and stuff. Like fact is based in something and truth is down to kind of interpretation. So this is going to be truth over fact. But some of the things that are inside these chemtrails, so it's claimed, are barium, aluminium, radioactive thorium, cesium, and other chemicals. Now, it doesn't say what these things do, but you just have to Google search barium to know what that does. That's really bad. Aluminium is one of the hardest things to get out of the body other than lead. Radioactive thorium and cesium. So why would you need to spray these things into the atmosphere for anything other than a nefarious reason? And if you are doing this, why do you not tell people that you're doing it if it's not something that you should be ashamed of doing? Right? It's the same way that they were spraying glyphosate on all of our food for so long. They didn't tell us about that either until it started killing people and causing cancers and everything else. And people were suing like Monsanto for doing all these types of things.
Yeah.
This is why what happened in 2020 is a good thing, because it should be waking you the fuck up that the people that are in charge are not trustworthy and they have been lying. And if they can lie about a party that they all had in Downing Street when we were all locked in and we weren't allowed to see our grandparents and anybody else and what have you, what else did they lie about? You have to ask these questions. If you're not asking these questions, then you're gonna, well, I'm not going to be disrespectful, but ask these questions, right? There is a reason why people see these things. And what's great is that conspiracy theorists, like we all said, with like, it came out, what, 2 weeks ago about the vaccine, and Pfizer has now been linked to the cancers and the surge in it and everything like that. It was in the papers. It was on Good Morning Britain. The leading oncologists in the UK came out to speak about it. Well, conspiracy theorists were saying that during lockdown, that this was not a good idea and it was going to cause problems. And now it's come out that it has. So, yeah, okay, not all conspiracy theories are true, but do some investigation. Research. Don't have to believe me.
Disrupt the status quo.
Exactly. The centralization of things is not good. We need decentralized information so that we can start to understand what's really going on, because the people that are in charge are not being honest. So why would they be blocking out the sun? And think about this, through the whole of lockdown in the UK, and I remember this vividly from like the beginning of April and kind of near the end of the year, September, October time, we had a sunny day and a blue sky every single day.
Yes, we did.
Every day. Why? Because they couldn't fly the bloody plane spraying the chemicals, because we'd all see it. And we'd be like, where are they going? They're not allowed to travel. So they couldn't do it. And we had great weather for a really long time.
Yeah, in the UK. Yeah, exactly. Everyone seems to got amnesia about that, what happened in 2020. It's like, oh, just traumatic, post-traumatic, bury it deep in my brain. I still remember
Cognitive dissonance is real, brother.
Having to queue up to go get some eggs.
Oh, what? And they're running out of paper.
Yeah.
Wow.
Madness, isn't it? Absolute madness. So, yeah, going back to present day, we hope you enjoyed that episode today.
We
loved it. Yeah. We'll get some made for next time.
Oh, wait, we're going to have to, I think.
Yeah.
Have ones that look like with the old handkerchiefs. that were tied on British guys' heads back in the day.
Yeah.
Dad vest on.
Let's do it. It's
Handkerchief on
time,
your head.
guys. We'll do that next time. But next time we're doing it in person.
Yes, we are. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. And
I
hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. It's been absolutely a blast, as always.
As always.
Thank you for hearing us talk about what we're passionate about with. And you've got any more questions or any more issues, please do reach out to us both. We're both on social media.
And please, just to help us get more reach on the channel, please subscribe, please like it, please share it. Those 3 things will help us reach more people. It's not sponsored, so we don't earn anything from it. It's just so that we can get more audience to it. So if we link it on Instagram, you can watch it or you can listen to it, obviously, but go onto the YouTube, subscribe, go onto Apple Podcasts, subscribe, like it, share it, help us increase our reach so that we can help more people and add more value.
Waller finisher. And thank you, guys. We look forward to episode 5.
Yeah, man.
Have a good one.
Stay blessed, everybody. Take care.